Welcome back to Hard Hat Chat, everyone. I'm Justin Smith, CEO of Contractor Plus, and joining me as always is Gerritt Bake, CEO of Build Pro.
Today we're talking about something that's shaken up our entire industry. And no, is not another homeowner saying, my cousin can do it cheaper. We're diving into the pipe war in America. Copper, PEX, or hybrid?
Copper, PEX, or hybrid. 3 piping options, 3 belief systems, and 3 different ways contractors justify their decisions to homeowners who just want water to come out of the wall without destroying their house.
And what makes this debate intense is that plumbing isn't visible until it fails. You don't admire it, you don't show it off, you only notice it when it betrays you.
And that's why emotions run so high around pipes. You can mess up paint, flooring, even cabinetry, and it's annoying but fixable. Plumbing failure feels violent. It floods memories, not just rooms. Homeowners remember where they were when it happened, what time it was, how much panic kicked in. So when they're choosing pipe material, they're not choosing plumbing, they're choosing peace of mind.
Exactly. And peace of mind in America has historically been copper. Copper feels trustworthy because it's been around forever. People grew up in homes with copper. Their parents had copper. Their grandparents had copper. When a homeowner hears copper pipes, their brain associates it with durability, strength, and permanence. Copper feels like something that belongs inside walls, not something temporary or experimental.
But the industry knows something homeowners don't always want to hear. Longevity isn't just about age, it's about environment. Copper installed 50 years ago isn't dealing with the same water chemistry, treatment chemicals, and municipal systems we're dealing with today. Water isn't neutral anymore. It's aggressive in some regions. It's chemically treated. It's recycled. And copper reacts to that.
That's where cracks started forming in copper's armor. Pinhole leaks, premature corrosion, failures that don't make sense to homeowners because copper is supposed to last forever. And when something fails earlier than expected, trust doesn't just break in the pipe, it breaks in the contractor's explanation.
And this is where PEX entered like a disruptor that didn't ask for permission. Flexible, lightweight, faster to install, cheaper, less labor, less torch work, less heat, less risk during install. For builders and remodelers under time pressure, PEX felt like a gift. You could run lines faster, avoid complex fittings, and reduce the number of joints hidden behind walls.
But homeowners didn't receive it as a gift. They received it as a question mark. Plastic in my walls? That doesn't feel right. Plastic feels disposable. Plastic feels temporary. Plastic feels like it belongs under the sink, not behind drywall for the next 40 years, even if the engineering says otherwise. Perception still wins the first round.
And the contractors recommending PEX had to fight a branding battle they didn't expect. They weren't just selling plumbing anymore, they were selling confidence in modern materials. And that's hard when the customer's default belief is new equals risky.
Meanwhile, contractors were looking at real-world performance, fewer freeze breaks, faster installs, cleaner routing, lower material cost, fewer callbacks in certain climates, less labor fatigue. And in the world where skilled labor is expensive and hard to find, PEX wasn't just a material choice, it was a business survival tool.
And then inspectors entered the conversation. Some embraced PEX, some tolerated it, some restricted it. Codes vary by city, county, and state. What's approved in one region raises eyebrows in another. Contractors working across regions started seeing inconsistency not just in materials, but in enforcement. That adds stress, because now the pipe choice affects approvals, not just performance. And then there's insurance. Insurance companies don't care about nostalgia. They care about claims. They look at frequency, severity, and patterns. In some areas, PEX reduced freeze-related claims. In others, early generation PEX failures created concern. Insurance opinions change slower than technology, but faster than tradition.
That's where hybrid systems quietly became the compromise nobody markets aggressively. Copper where it's exposed, visible, and required by code. PEX where flexibility, freeze resistance, and routing efficiency matter. It's not flashy, it doesn't fit neatly into an argument, but it works.
But even hybrid systems trigger debate. Some contractors see it as smart engineering. Others see it as inconsistency. Some worry about future repairs when different materials meet. Some see it as best of both worlds thinking. The pipe war isn't just material based, it's philosophical.
And water quality plays a massive role that rarely gets explained clearly to homeowners. Hard water, soft water, chloramines, pH imbalance, mineral content, municipal treatment differences. These variables matter more than brand names or pipe colors. A pipe that thrives in one city may fail early in another, but homeowners want universal answers, and plumbing doesn't offer them.
That's what makes the war endless. Everyone argues from their experience, and experience is local. A plumber who's seen copper fail will never trust it again. A plumber who's seen early PEX issues will never recommend it. And both are telling the truth based on what they've lived through.
Meanwhile, homeowners are absorbing conflicting advice from contractors, neighbors, online forums, and Google searches that contradict each other within the same paragraph. One article says PEX is the future, another calls it a lawsuit waiting to happen. One praises copper, another says copper is outdated, and the homeowner is stuck trying to make a permanent decision with temporary confidence.
And here's the quiet truth. Most pipe systems don't fail because of the material. They fail because of installation, environment, or neglect. Bad joints fail. Poor routing fails. Ignored leaks fail. Frozen lines fail. But the material takes the blame because it's easier to point at than the process.
Which brings us to the heart of this conversation. This isn't just about pipes, it's about responsibility. Contractors aren't just choosing material, they're choosing which risks they're willing to own, which callbacks they're willing to handle, which conversations they're willing to have 5, 10, or 20 years later.
This part really lands here. There is no single winner in the pipe war. There are only informed decisions, regional realities, and honest conversations. Copper, PEX, and hybrid systems all work when used correctly in the right environment with the right expectation.
And in next part, we're going even deeper. How regional climate, labor shortages, cost pressures, insurance influence, and resale value are shaping pipe decisions across America right now.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back after a short break. And hey, if you're a contractor looking to scale your business without adding more chaos, check out Contractor Plus. It's the only app you'll ever need to run your business from start to finish. CRM, estimates, invoices, payments, plus powerful integrations like QuickBooks Online, Zapier, Authorize.net, ABC Supply, and more. Go further, win more, and work smarter with Contractor Plus. We're back, and now we need to talk about the forces that actually push contractors towards one pipe over another, because very few material decisions are made in a vacuum. Pipe choice today isn't just about performance, it's about climate, labor, cost pressure, insurance scrutiny, inspection culture, and even resale psychology. The pipe war didn't escalate because plumbers got bored. It escalated because the environment around plumbing changed.
And then you look at labor. Skilled plumbers are harder to find. Torch work takes time. Precision takes time. Safety protocols take time. Training takes time. When labor is expensive and scarce, speed becomes a survival metric. PEX installs faster. That's not opinion, that's reality. Fewer fittings, faster runs, less setup. And in a business where margins are constantly squeezed, faster installs aren't luxury, they're oxygen. But speed introduces a trust issue. Homeowners equate time with quality. If something installs faster, it feels cheaper. It feels less substantial. And when homeowners already feel nervous about what's behind the wall, faster doesn't always feel better. Contractors then find themselves defending efficiency instead of explaining engineering. Cost pressure adds fuel to the fire. Copper pricing isn't stable. It spikes, it drops, it spikes again. Contractors pricing copper-heavy jobs risk margin erosion between estimate and install. PEX pricing is more predictable. That predictability matters when contractors are quoting weeks or months out. Homeowners don't see commodity volatility. They just see the final number and judge fairness. And let's talk inspections, because inspectors quietly influence pipe decisions more than anyone wants to admit. Some inspectors trust copper instinctively. It's familiar, it's visible, it's traditional. Others understand modern systems and evaluate PEX fairly. But inconsistency breeds hesitation. Contractors don't want surprises on inspection day. They choose what passes reliably, not what sparks debates. Insurance companies also sit quietly in this decision tree. They don't publish pipe rankings, but they influence behavior through claims. Regions with high freeze claims push contractors toward flexible systems. Regions with early generation plastic failures make carriers cautious. Insurance doesn't care about ideology, it cares about patterns. And contractors learn those patterns quickly because they're the ones dealing with claims fallout. Then there's resale value, the unspoken fear. Homeowners worry about what future buyers will think. Will they see PEX as modern and smart or cheap and risky? Will copper feel premium or outdated? Realtors often don't help here because even they don't fully understand plumbing systems. They just know what sounds reassuring in a listing description. And this is where hybrid systems start looking less like compromise and more like strategy. Contractors aren't hedging, they're adapting. Copper in visible areas feels premium. PEX behind walls reduces risk and labor. Hybrid systems speak both languages, homeowner confidence and contractor practicality. But hybrids introduce responsibility. Transitions matter. Compatibility matters. Proper fittings matter. Long-term serviceability matters. Hybrid systems demand planning, not improvisation. Contractors who treat hybrid as best of both worlds without discipline create systems that confuse future repairs. Another factor shaping this war is callbacks. Callbacks don't just cost money, they cost reputation. Contractors remember which materials cause fewer headaches. They remember which systems behave predictably. They remember which installs generate late night calls years later. Those memories drive recommendations more than marketing ever will. And education plays a huge role. Contractors who take time to explain water quality, climate, and system design earn trust, regardless of material choice. Contractors who simply say, "This is what we use," leave homeowners uneasy. The pipe war escalates when explanation disappears.
There's also a generational divide inside the trades. Veteran plumbers trust what they've seen last decades. Younger plumbers trust testing data, modern engineering, and performance under stress. Neither group is wrong, but they're speaking from different timelines. One speaks from memory, the other speaks from models and projections.
And homeowners are standing in the middle, trying to make a 40-year decision in a 40-minute conversation. That's where confusion thrives.
This part really lands here. Pipe choice is no longer just technical. It's economic, psychological, and operational. Contractors are balancing performance with predictability. Homeowners are balancing tradition with innovation. Everyone is trying to reduce regret.
And in next part, we're bringing this home. How contractors should guide homeowners through this decision honestly, how trust is built regardless of material, and why the future of plumbing isn't about winning the pipe war, but managing expectations around it.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back after a short break. And hey, if you're a contractor looking to scale your business without adding more chaos, check out Contractor Plus. We're back, and now we reach the part of the conversation that actually matters most. Not which pipe wins the war, but how contractors and homeowners navigate the decision without regret. Because the truth is, plumbing decisions don't fail in theory, they fail in communication. Pipes don't disappoint people, expectations do.
Exactly. Most homeowners aren't asking which pipe has the best expansion coefficient. They're asking, will this ruin my house? They want reassurance more than education. And when contractors answer with certainty instead of clarity, problems start. Saying this is the best option without context sounds confident, but it removes trust when something unexpected happens later.
That's where the industry needs to evolve. Contractors shouldn't be selling materials, they should be selling reasoning. When homeowners understand why a system was chosen for their specific house, climate, water conditions, and budget, the material becomes secondary. The logic becomes primary.
And the contractors who explain risk honestly, not fearfully, win long term trust. Saying nothing is bulletproof actually builds confidence when paired with here's how we mitigate risk. Homeowners don't expect perfection, they expect transparency.
This is also where future service comes into play. A system that performs well but can't be serviced easily becomes a liability. Contractors should be thinking 10 years ahead, not just about failure, but about accessibility. Who touches the system next? How easy is it to modify? How clear is the layout? Will other plumbers understand what was done?
And hybrid systems shine or fail right there. When documented and labeled properly, hybrid systems are elegant. When installed haphazardly, they're confusing. The difference isn't the material, it's discipline. The pipe war often blames materials when the real issue is execution.
There's also a responsibility shift happening. Contractors used to assume homeowners didn't want details. Now, homeowners want clarity. They want photos, they want explanations, they want to feel involved. And the contractors who treat that involvement as partnership instead of nuisance are the ones that thrive.
Another reality is that no material choice survives neglect. Poor insulation, improper installation, ignored leaks, deferred maintenance, any pipe will fail under abuse. The war isn't between copper and PEX, it's between proactive care and reactive repair.
And let's talk about the future, because this isn't a static debate. Materials evolve, manufacturing improves, codes change, insurance status shifts, water treatment methods adapt. The pipe war today won't look the same in 10 years. Contractors who lock themselves into dogma instead of adaptability risk becoming outdated regardless of material choice.
The smartest contractors I know don't argue pipe superiority, they argue suitability. They ask questions before making recommendations. They look at the house, not just the invoice. They understand that plumbing is context-driven, not ideology-driven.
And homeowners who walk away happiest aren't the ones who chose copper, PEX, or hybrid. They're the ones who understood why they chose it. Understanding replaces fear. Fear is what creates regret.
That's the real takeaway. This war doesn't end with a winner. It ends with better conversations. When contractors stop defending materials and start guiding decisions, trust replaces debate.
So where does this leave us? Copper still has its place. PEX isn't going anywhere. Hybrid systems will continue to grow. The future of plumbing isn't about allegiance. It's about adaptability, communication, and accountability.
And if there's one thing both contractors and homeowners should remember, it's this. Water doesn't care about opinions. It only respects physics. The best systems respect physics, environment, and reality, not tradition or trend.
This has been Hard Hat Chat. Build with logic, explain with honesty, install with discipline. And remember, the strongest systems aren't the loudest ones. They're the ones that quietly work for decades without being noticed.
We'll see you in the next episode.